This video is going to be a demonstration showing you how to create a consignor record. So the first thing I'd like to point out is just that you will need to first of all activate the consignor add-on, which is a subscription, from your My Site Settings tab. Once that's done, you'll have access to consignor management, including creating a consignor, which is what I'm going to be showing to you today. So I'm just logged into my admin account now, and I want to make my way to consignors, which is at the top of the screen in between where it says bidders and admin users. And I'm going to click on list consignors. From here, you'll see the list of all the consignor accounts that are already on your page. You can also recover consignors by clicking on that button if you've deleted any. To create a new consignor, you just click on new consignor in the top right hand side of the page. So this is the add consignor page, and you'll have all the basic information. It's very similar to creating a bidder account or an admin user account. You have your name details, email, company, mailing address, as well as physical address, all that kind of stuff. That's all pretty standard. Only ones that you actually have to fill in are the email address, the first name and the last name, as well as the phone number. And then if you scroll underneath, you have your more consignor specific details here, starting off with the statement address. So your choices are either mailing or physical, and this refers to what address will be shown on the consignor statement, whether it's the physical address, which is what you put in here, or the mailing address. Underneath that, you have your contract expiration date. Once you click open calendar icon, it'll open up the little calendar where you can select your month, day, and year for the contract expiration date. Underneath that, you have your commission scale. So this is a scale that you've created already on your site. And by that, I mean by hovering your mouse over consignors and clicking on commission scale. This is very similar to an increment scheme as far as how they're created, but this is essentially just a different percentage scale depending on what the sale price of the item is. So I have already one made here. We have a default one, which I'll add to this consignor account. And if you're not sure what it looks like, all you have to do is just hover your mouse over where it says commission scales lookup, and it'll show you a full breakdown of the selected commission scale that you've on the account, showing you the full breakdown of the commission and the lows and high amounts. If you rather have a flat commission rate, you can of course do that by selecting the commission rate here. Now, I like to point out you can't obviously have both running at the same time. It's either one or the other. So if you have a commission rate entered, this will then default to show none, and then vice versa. If you select one here, it'll erase the commission rate. So you have to pick either a commission scale or a commission rate for this consignor. Let's just do 20% flat commission rate for this consignor. Then you have your minimum commission method, which will be calculated basically using the commission rate or the lot minimum commission per lot, whichever is greater. If you have this option on, which is the lot minimum commission, you can also choose a statement minimum commission, or you can select both. And of course, both fields underneath here affect what the minimum commission amounts are. So for example, if you select a lot minimum, you'll have to enter it in the first field here. And let's say that the first minimum commission amount will be $10. If you change that to statement, it'll be a statement-wide minimum commission, which I presume will want to be higher. Let's just say $500. If you want to have both selected, you can, of course, by clicking on both commissions. And then in that case, both fields will be entered and taken into account when it comes to generating statements and calculating the fees and amounts due. Underneath that, you can choose to have commission on no sales, which means if this is checked, the minimum commission amount will be charged on any line item that doesn't get sold on the auction. You can, of course, then choose to display the bidder name on the statement by checking this box, or leaving the name off the statement by leaving this box off. And then underneath here, you have your consignor permissions area, which is basically just granting your consignor various levels of access and permissions across your website. Starting with allowing the consignor to be able to bid. This must be selected if you want your consignor to also be able to bid on auctions. If you want them to be able to bid without a credit card, we have an option for that. If you want to allow them to do buybacks, so that means that they're allowed to bid on their own items This can be turned on. If you want them to view their own statements on their account, you'll check this box. If that's turned off, then you will send the consignor statement to the consignor's email address, and that's how they'll see their statement. But if this is checked on, they'll actually be able to log on to their consignor account on your website, and they'll have a statements tab where they can see all their statements and open it up whenever they want. This will enable and disable negative amounts due on statements. And then the last thing is, if you have this box checked when you hit save, this will send an email with the login credentials as well as the information, including the permissions. If this is turned off, they won't get any emails. If you like, you can save this setting as a template by entering the name of the template here. So for example, I'm going to say basic consignor details. I can just save that as a template now. But if I want this template to be loaded up by default every time I open up this page to create a new consignor, I can just select default here and then hit save, which now makes this my default. And every single time I open up and create a new consignor account, all the details that I've entered will be automatically input into the account. Okay, so that's pretty much it for how to create a consignor account. Thanks very much for watching.